Here are the headlines for the day. Soulmates, what do you think about this? More than 6 in 10 Americans say they regularly come across misinformation on Facebook amid the company's efforts to ban groups linked to conspiracy theories. Reporters from The Hill broke down results of a poll commissioned by Newsy from YouGov. It found that 65% of Americans say they encounter misinformation on Facebook. That's higher than any other social media or traditional media platform. Misinformation on Facebook topped misinformation from politicians by single digits, with 62% of Americans claiming to hear inaccuracies from politicians regularly, while other significant sources included Twitter at 53% and cable news at 51%. Just 3 out of 10 Americans surveyed say radio stations or newspapers were sources of disinformation. And 1 in 10 Americans say they believed they never encountered deliberately false information presented as fact. The poll comes as Facebook and Twitter have cracked down on misinformation and conspiracy theories. 1,000 people were surveyed from January 25th through the 29th for this, and information about the margin of error was not immediately available. Obviously, the first thought goes to politics when talking about misinformation on social media platforms, but this is also a very big problem when it comes to vaccines, COVID-19 overall, and at some point, there's only so much they can do. They can attack politicians and make sure they monitor that. They can monitor even direct posts, but what can you really do about comments and responses?
Well, to answer that, CEO of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, he actually plans to take steps to downrank political information on Facebook. He says that he doesn't want fighting to take place on the Facebook experience. So that's one step that he's doing. And he also removed 12 million pieces of misinformation on topics like vaccines, like you were saying, Brooke, the coronavirus, as well as politics on Facebook. And this is a great example of misinformation on Facebook. I just wanted to add really quick. So there was an anti-vaccine protest, I don't know if you guys saw, that took place outside of Dodger Stadium. And so the group that got it together, they formed it on Facebook. And they the group debunks claims and rumors and things like that about, you know, the COVID-19 and things like that. So I think Mark Zuckerberg has taken some good steps towards getting this information off of Facebook.
Yeah, and it's a nonstop process for him, because you think about it, people rely on Facebook, whether it's for dating, which is not always a good thing, for news, for friends, and some people are consumed by social media, and this is what they believe in. So sometimes when something is posted, they buy into it because they want something to believe in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also we got to take into account the fact that it's a very small percentage of people that are interviewed for these polls, you know, and they reflect such a massive group of people. So when they say 1 in 10 people, 3 in 10 people, I mean, it just makes me wonder, who exactly are they interviewing? You know, that's you know, basically their views are reflecting all of us.
Yeah, that is so true. All right, well, there is a new look to the YouTube logo. All right, to coincide with the Black History Month 2021 and the USA and Canada, YouTube added 3 letters to its normal logo, BHM. The letters are in bold orange, red, and blue colors, and they will be part of all month long of the company's celebration of Black culture and excellence. Now, if you live elsewhere in the world, you would not have seen the change, as Black History Month is celebrated at different times of the year in other countries. But there is plenty of material for everyone to enjoy on the platform. So I'm hearing the logo was created by Brazilian artist Leandro Assis. Assis, right?
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of feel how I feel about Apple's Watch yesterday. It's like, I like the gesture, but is it sincere? You know,
well, the difference between this is that YouTube, every Monday, a new Black artist is going to get featured. So today is Tuesday, right? And I went up looking for it. I thought it was going to be like the whole month. And so it's going to be a different artist each Tuesday. I kind of like this. I'm kind of feeling like this. You don't have to spend money. You know what I mean? You're not, for the Apple thing, Apple Watch that we were talking about, you have to spend $400 to support Black History Month. This is just going to YouTube, and, you know, they're making it known about different Black artists across the world. I kind of like this.
Depending on whatever month it is that we're celebrating something, YouTube always has graphics drawn to, you know, commemorate and support whatever that is. So Women's Month, we're probably going to see, you know, very much the same thing.
And he did a really good job, too. He's on Twitter talking about it. He actually did a really, really good job. I would have loved for it to be the whole month, you know, but hey, I can't be picky.
All right.
All right, well, more than 170 Black and Jewish entertainers, including Billy Porter, Sharon Osbourne, Mayim Bialik, and Tiffany Haddish, are joining forces to combat racism and anti-Semitism. According to USA Today, the new organization, Black Jewish Entertainment Alliance, launched on Monday, the first day of Black History Month, as an institutional racism and anti-Semitism as they remain rampant. BJEA released a unity statement as part of its launch, which will run in full-page ads in industry publications Variety and Billboard this week. The Jewish community must continue to speak out against racial injustice and work to effect change, while the Black community must continue to speak out against all forms of anti-Semitism, part of the unity statement reads. In the spirit of Martin Luther King Jr. and Rabbi Abraham Heschel and the many Blacks and Jews who stood together in the fight for civil rights, we come together to support each other in the struggle against hatred and bigotry. I think this is a really good step in, the right direction. A lot of times, we tend to think of our problems as ours and another group's problem as theirs, and we don't want to do any kind of cross-pollination to, take up arms, for their fight. So I think that this is a really nice, cross-pollination of effort to eradicate racism and bigotry, which we both experience.
Yeah, we have for all our lives. You think about what the Jewish community went through and what Black people have gone through since the beginning. So it's definitely something where we can come together and it's pretty powerful. Although I know there's some people out there that's not liking this situation, but it is what it is. This movement has to happen, I think.
I think it's really important. I agree. I think that on one end, just like we're saying, when one marginalized community wins, we all win. And also, being Black and being Jewish are not mutually exclusive. And that happens a lot to a lot of Black Jewish people. They feel left out because sometimes some of us, not some of us, but some members of the Black community sometimes feel as if Judaism is the equivalent of white supremacy, and it's not at all. And in those conversations, Black people, like one of the most famous Black Jewish people is Drake.
Yeah,
where does he stand when you have a Black person that's being anti-Semitic? Like, where, you know what I mean? That's horrible. And so,
and that's the reason why
Tiffany's also just. Oh, sure, Melissa. What?
No. Sorry, that's the reason why Tiffany's a part of this group is because she is Black and she's also Jewish.
Well, if I can just tell you guys, a couple of the people that were signatories on this were Nick Cannon, which you guys remember the situation that he had. So he signed on it. Terry Crews, actually, you guys, Larry King, before he died, signed on it. D.O. Hughley and Randy Jackson, just to name a few that signed to be a part of this. All right. So now moving forward, the North Carolina Division of Motor Vehicles said this week that it will stop issuing and renewing license plates that bear the Confederate flag. Under the new policy, which took effect at the start of the year, the agency said in a statement to Star News Online on Monday that it will no longer issue or renew specialty license plates bearing the Confederate battle flag or any variation of that flag. The Division of Motor Vehicles has determined that license plates bearing the Confederate flag have the potential to offend those who view them. The agency also told the local outlet that we have therefore concluded that display of the Confederate battle flag is inappropriate for display on specialty license plates which remain property of the state. The move reportedly comes months after the agency said it had been receiving complaints about the plates during the summer amid widespread protests against police brutality and racism following the police killing of George Floyd. Now, a couple of things that I wanted to add here. Everybody on Twitter, I was kind of like reading the comments. You guys know I like to read the comments on Twitter. I love to see what the people are saying. So a lot of people were really focusing on, oh my God, I can't believe it's been this long that it took for this to happen. I think that we should be focusing on the other states, unless I missed one, that you can still buy this. Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia, they all let you still buy this. So I think we should focus less on how many years it took. 2020 was a hard year. A lot of companies decided that they were on the wrong side of history. So now they're trying to right their wrongs, which we love. But now I think we should focus on getting those other states aboard exactly what North Carolina just did.
These 8 states are on watch. And they say it's going to take like a year for North Carolina because people still have to renew their plates before they get rid of it. And they have more than 100 specialty plates. So if you can't figure out something you like out of those 100 and you still leaning toward this, that says a lot about you.
It's got to be a football team, something else that you know, I don't know.
That part.
Agreed.
It's 2021.
Yeah.
I'm always interested because I'm from Oklahoma, a state that was not a part of the Confederacy at all. And so it's fascinating how many people love the Confederate flag. But then you can't tell me it's not about racism. This is not even your history. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,